To round up the pathology, I would like to use my very own words, simple language, metaphors to explain the pathology of PPPD and make a transfer to the practice and real world. A precipitating event that induces usually acute dizziness and anxiety leads to physiological, physical, and behavioral reactions that we also see in healthy people, for example, on slippery surfaces. These reactions should cease by the time, especially when the dangerous precipitating event ends. In this case, we need experts that calm the patient and tell them that A, they recovered from the precipitating events, B, the precipitating event did not cause any long-term damage, and C, the patient is now definitely healthy. The problem is there are very few vestibular experts, so often these patients get answers such, I didn't find anything, maybe there are some crystals in your ear, you should keep doing the maneuvers. I can also prescribe you some medicine against the dizziness that you should take in the morning. And then on top of that, they usually recommend orthopedic consultation because it might also be your neck. Statements as these keep the anxiety level high and the acute reactions to the precipitating event don't cease, as it could be the neck or maybe still some crystals that might damage the inner ear. Patients start an excessive self-observation process. The self-observation will recognize the slightest deviation of postural control and visual vestibular system, thus make more dizziness and unsteadiness. This will again make more anxiety and more self-observation, leading to a vicious cycle of self-observation, anxiety, more dizziness, unsteadiness, more self-observation, more anxiety, and so forth. This process is also comparable to processes that patients with acute low back pain experience. First, movement hurts to protect us, and patients start feeling every little pain stimulus during every movement. Consequently, patients get anxious and start walking more carefully and observe their back. This self-observation lets the patient feel the slightest pain stimuli in the back, which again leads to more anxiety and so on. So the hypothesis of chronic pain patients is very similar to chronic dizziness patients. Why did I use acute low back pain in my explanation? Because I want you to think of chronic back pain that developed after a harmless acute low back pain to understand PPPD. I am sure that you have more experience with acute back pain patients than with dizzy patients. Why did I use cervical dizziness in my explanation? To make you understand that the statement, it might be your neck, which unfortunately many colleagues will make, is very counterproductive. To be very direct, you are not helping these people, you are making it usually worse. Statements as these will lead, just as with the example above, to more self-observation, which in turn will let your patient feel every little pain stimulus and every little deviation in the neck.